Who is it exactly that Prince Charles was talking about when he said he has trillions at his disposal, far beyond the global GDP? I mean, you're talking about a lot of money in the back pocket of one person?
Who is that person, pray tell?
Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I want to give a real quick shout out to today's sponsor, Virtual Shield VPN. And the reason I promote it, guys, is because I use it every single day and I know that it works, and I've proven it in videos in the past. If you use the link in the description, you're going to get 50% off, and that's going to help you protect your identity, your activity, and your location anytime you're surfing on the net. That link is in the description below. Something we need to remember, guys, there is a mass psychosis going on because there's a mass psychological operations. There's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, propaganda from the public relations firm of the big pharma industrial complex and the military industrial complex. And when you see what's going on today, you cannot discount the fact that there's a mass psychosis, a huge mass psychosis element involved in this deception. The name of this video right here from BitChute is, it's only an 8-second clip. It says, "Corrupt pricks caught when camera is off. The criminally insane are at large." Watch what they do. They keep the masks on for a photo op. And then what happens after the photo op? So take your mask off. Okay, why did you have them on in the first place? They just take them off, still standing close together. Why would you do that? It looks like a stage show. Is it a stage show? And if it is a stage show, what exactly are they trying to convey to the many, many millions of people who might watch this? Oh, the leaders are wearing these. We must also have to wear them. It looks ritualistic. It truly does. And then the same thing right here. Somebody says right here, "Can someone explain the science behind wearing a ritualistic shame muzzle only to remove it while approaching a crowd of people?" Which is exactly what Camel Toe Harris does right here. What? Wait a second. What the heck? So she has it on when she's walking alone, but then she takes it off as she approaches a group of clearly unmasked people. What is the point? What is the point? Is this just for a photo op? And if so, what is the message that's supposed to be received from the people who are watching this? How can anybody not take a look at this and go, wait a second here. If it's so dang important for us, because they constantly tell us it's so dang important for us to wear a ritualistic shame muzzle, and she's wearing it alone, and you're supposed to be wearing it not just for yourself, but to protect and keep your droplets to yourself and not spray onto other people. Why would she walk up to a group of people who don't have ritualistic shame muzzles on, maskless? It makes no sense. But you need to follow the science. You need to trust the science, and you don't need to question the science. And this is science right here, according to them. Love the government. Now, somebody was wanting me to play this. This is from Spiro. Spiro dropped this today, and he said, "My good friend breaks down Prince Charles' cryptic speech at COP26, the UN climate change meeting. I know Halloween was last week, but this is creepy. Must see." Now, this guy right here is going to kind of break down what his opinion is of what Prince Charles says. But before we go into that, I want to read it just so you can be alerted if you haven't seen this. Here's what Prince Charles says in the clip that we're about to see. Let me get this centered for you so you can see it. It is kind of strange. And I haven't seen the entire thing with Prince Charles. I haven't seen his entire speech at the climate summit. But part of it reads, "We also know that countries, many of whom are burdened by growing levels of debt, simply cannot afford to go green. Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marsh the strength of the global private sector with trillions at his disposal." Whose disposal? The guy that you're about to see is going to say that he referenced his several times, and if you look in the context, all the context of everything that he said, he never refers to who this his person is. Listen to what he says. Here we need a vast military-style campaign to march the strength of the global private sector with trillions at his disposal far beyond global GDP. And with the greatest respect, what's at his disposal is beyond even the governments of the world's leaders. It offers the only prospect of achieving fundamental economic transition. So who is this his Prince Charles is referring to?
He wants to garner all of the assets in the world, trillions, out of his mouth for his disposal. And he's not referring to himself. It's an other that he's referring to.
With trillions at his disposal, far beyond global GDP.
He follows that by saying, basically, the world leaders aren't smart enough to pull this off.
And with the greatest respect, beyond even the governments of the world's leaders.
Which refers back to the his. That's why it has to be in this power.
Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector.
So he's advocating an individual, in my assessment, that's going to run in a military style, is marshaling his word again, the assets, the people, and the will to change the climate. But it's really a consolidation of power in one entity, and that's the scary part. I refer back to the word his. There's no precursor in his. I looked at the whole speech. There's no precursor to who his refers to.
It's now, this is a strange drop from Prince Charles, and it could be because we've seen the elites do this before. He's just basically dropping an Easter egg, letting you know that the world is controlled by one centralized power, because that's constantly what they're trying to do. They're trying to consolidate power. That's what the Convids 1984 is all about. It's a transfer of wealth and power, the likes of which the world has never seen. Really has never seen. So when you consolidate power under one power umbrella, then you have just a few people at the top controlling the many, which in their context, they want it to be everybody in the entire world. They want to control everybody under one centralized power source.
It's just an entity. It's a personal pronoun of somebody. It's an individual. I have a Christian background. Could be the Antichrist. I don't know. To fundamentally change the financial system. So we have cryptos, we have fiat, we have gold, we have silver, and we have countries that are printing money. The United States is the leader in that, that they don't have. Debt. And you can't do that. You can't run a business, a country, anything on that. So what are you going to do? Collapse it? And what happens then with COVID, with the supply chain issues, with all of these things that are all distractions, because the ultimate thing is the power grab.
It offers the only real prospect of achieving fundamental economic transition.
It's the one. And I believe that man has an idea of what the one is. And it ain't a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, especially when they're never trust a politician or a monarch, king, queen, congressman, senator, judge. When they say that they're going to do something good for the people, almost 100% of the time, the exact opposite happens. Oh, wait a second. You're going to do something good for me? What's the trade-off? What do I have to give to you? Oh, you just have to give just a little essential liberty. Just a little bit. Just a small additional percentage of the product of your time and laboring energies. We want to tap further into your time. We want to steal more of your labor. We want to take more of your product and your property. That's what it always ends up being. And that's why Benjamin Franklin said those who give away a little essential liberty to obtain politically promised security, because it's always politically promised security. Politicians are always promising you, and I can't believe when we hear a politician on the news at night, and for that matter, I can't believe that anybody turns on the news at night, but they do. I can't believe anybody who listens to a politician just doesn't roll a laugh track in their mind. They should be laughed out of town wherever they go. Anybody who wants control over you, anybody who expresses the desire to control you, truly does desire to control you. And it's never a giving of safety and security. There's a perception, it's illusory, but you don't end up getting it. What you end up getting is more oppression, more enslavement, more theft.
Hey guys, we know with the way things have been going, it can get really interesting really quick. So make sure you and your family have a long-term storable food supply. Support the channel and get $50 off with my link in the description while you still can.